All right, this is the second video on this mower that had the bent crankshaft. I've got it flat on the table now. I did put a new blade on it. It seems to be a lot better, but we'll know that if it starts. The other thing I wanted to show you that you don't run into very often, this is the engine brake here, and strangely enough, there's no pad on that brake. So here's the bail up here. You push that down and it moves out of the way, you know, like it's supposed to, but then see it comes back and there's no pad. So if it did touch, it'd be metal on metal, which would make a horrible noise. So this has got to come off. The problem for me and anybody else who works on these mowers is the screws that hold this on, you can't put a socket on because they're up under this shroud. So I've got some old wrenches from 1972. This is an 8mm from a Toyota I used to own, and that will fit that screw right there. So let's see if I can move it. All right, got it. Now we're going to move this one because this, I have to replace this if I want to, because the cable's good. I just need to put a decent brake on here. Oh, and of course this is that's in a bad spot right there. There's hardly any room to move in there because it's up against that shroud. That is unfortunate for me. So let me set the phone down, see if I can figure this out. I think that's a little better. I've got to figure out how to get in there and get that screw loose. It's just not going in. What I could do is come at it through the flywheel side. And the guy told me he replaced the flywheel key, but I've been doing a lot of banging, so maybe I should check that anyway. So I'm going to set this wrench down, and we're going to pop this flywheel off. Yeah, the flywheel key looks good, so he was telling me the truth on that. But to get to that screw, I'm going to go ahead and take this flywheel off. It'll just be easier for me to do it that way. So I'll put this on here, a few threads, and get a copper penny. When I say copper, I mean copper. 1981 or prior. They're going to stop making these before too long. I guess you guys knew that. It's official. Where'd my other glove go? Oh well. So I've got to get some leverage under there. Hang on. I didn't think it would take much since he's already replaced the flywheel key, and it came right up. So let's get that out of there. There's his little flywheel key. It looks like it's the correct thing. Make sure it's not like, yeah, I don't think there's a problem with that. That's not magnetized, so I've got to keep an eye on that. But now I can get to that screw with my 8mm wrench. There's my other glove. So let me grab this now. See what, I think I can come at it like this now. Yep. So I think I've got enough room. And or I can, if I have to, I'll flip it over. Or, of course, the crankshaft is kind of in the way. I'm gonna have to tilt it up some. But I've got it loose enough to where it's starting to turn. Let me swing it above the crankshaft if I have to. Okay, I think it's turning. And that's probably going to hit that shroud and keep me from getting it out. But let's see. Just loosening it with my thumb now. Getting close. Getting very close. Almost touching it. Let's see, maybe we can get this one off and that'll help us some. I really hate to have to take this whole piece off just to get these two silly screws out. If I can get it off enough, maybe I won't have to do that. I'm just turning it with my thumb now, I think. I don't know if I'm moving it or not. Let's see. Where'd my wrench go? There it is. Well, at least it's loose. I guess I could just try bending that. So what I might do is go ahead and bend that housing and create a space for these screws to come up. So let me set the phone down and try that. I bend this one out and this one in. That's what it's kind of looking like. You see, if that's even going to work. I think it did. Okay, now I'm going to bend this one this way. I might even be able to get a socket on that now. Let's try it. Let's just try it. There's a 5/16. I need my extension. Where did you go? Crud. I can't find anything now. Let's see. I'll try this little screwdriver type deal here. See if I can get it on there. Yes, I think it's fitting. Is it spinning? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. So I got that screw out. Now, let's set that right over there. Maybe I can get it on this one. With this one, I should be able to use the wrench on, so let me try that. I'm doing all this, and who knows if this mower's even going to run, but trying to give it every chance. I think it's working. I think it's working. All right, so there's the other one. So this was longer than the other one, so that takes a while. All right, so now this brake will come off. Now the coil wire is here and comes back and connects to that, so I've got to take that off in order to replace that switch. Kill wires is on a clip back here. You got to push the end of the wire away, and then push this part down. Let's see. Need some needle nose pliers to grab the wire. There we go. Okay, so we got the kill wire off. So now I can replace this switch. So let's take a pause here. I know this is some tedious stuff, but it's got to be done.